Guys, and I totally forgot to start the recording on Facebook and YouTube, but it's okay because we haven't even gotten, we're still a minute away from the official start time, so we're good. Thank you, Andrea the SD. Yes, we've got lots of people here who are planning on leveling up that business in 2023. Michelle Brooks over here on Clubhouse gave me a star. I love to see it. I love to see it. All right. Um, and I'm not going to tell you to, tell me what you're doing because you might want to keep it secret. You don't want nobody stealing your ideas. But, it's just nice to know that all of you are out here creating amazing things. All right. But now it is 8:05, so it is time to start the show. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If this is your first time seeing my face or hearing my voice, depending on how you're consuming this media, I am Natalie Pierre Lewis. I am the host of the show and I'm the owner and operator of NPL Consulting LLC, a business formation firm. What that means is I help people like yourself get your business paperwork together. So things like making sure you have your articles of incorporation, making sure you have your EIN numbers, your DUNS numbers, as well as your SAMI numbers for federal contracting, making sure you have contracts for clients and partners. Also, securing your brands with trademarks and copyrights. I help you with that as well. And hiring and training strategies so you don't get sued for discrimination. I help you do all this and more. If you're wondering why I'm qualified to help you do this, I am a licensed attorney, have been one for 16 years and counting, as I said. I've started multiple businesses for myself and others, both online and offline. I've had many careers in the realms of entrepreneurship, the law, education, hospitality, and administrative support. And most important, I'm very passionate about making business and legal education as accessible to everyone as possible. Not everybody has the time, the money, or the desire to go to business school or to law school, but a lot of you have amazing business ideas, and if you're going to be successful, there are just some things that you need to know. There's no way around it, okay? So that's why we're here right now. So if you are in the startup phase of your business and you're looking for some legal guidance, hit your girl up. I'm here for you. You can go to linktr.ee/NPL consulting firm. That is the link in all of my bios on all platforms. It's pinned at the top of the room on Clubhouse. It's the only link on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. There you're going to be able to book yourself a free 15-minute consultation, okay? Yes, we are back, okay? Book yourself a free 15-minute consultation as well at linktree/NPL consulting firm. You're going to be able to download my free biz launch cheat sheet. This is a 16-page PDF that is basically a start guide to help you start that business, helping you choose what type of business you're going to start and letting you know what things you need to get in order. And it's completely free at linktree/NPL consulting firm. All right. Linktree/NPL consulting firm is also where you can connect with all my other social media platforms and check out my digital products like my ebooks and my video trainings. Okay. But that's enough of me slinging my wares. I really want to get to what we're talking about tonight because we have a lot to cover. Okay, so if you, just in case we have anybody new to the show, this is how it works. I pull stories from the news, stories from blog sites, stories that you guys send to me in my DMs, and I pull the ones that have lessons that we can learn as business owners, and we talk about them, okay? So this is a time for you to get involved. This is a time for you to ask questions and give comments as long as they are respectful, okay? What else? I think that's it. That's all I have to say to you guys. Yeah, so let's get started. Don't be shy. Ask your questions. And even if you want, listen, if you're on Instagram and you want to come on video, let me know. We can do that for a story. Or if you're on Clubhouse, you can either write your comments in or you can raise your hand so I can bring you on in. But the interaction, I love the interaction. So don't be afraid to, chime in. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Okay. My hip hop heads here, particularly my old school hip hop heads. If we have any old school hip hop fans here, please give me a microphone emoji. Any old school hip hop fans, please give me a microphone emoji. Okay, we're talking about Cold Crush. We're talking about the Fat Boys. We're talking about Heavy D. And in particular for this story, we are talking about De La Soul. If you know who De La Soul is, thank you for the microphone, Michelle. If you know who De La Soul is, give me a D in the comments, okay? De La Soul, they are a quintessential hip hop group. Have they been inducted into some type of Hall of Fame? Anyway, they've received, both official and unofficial accolades, right? And thank you, Kels Butter, for the D. De La Soul, they're still making music to this day. Does anybody know? Michelle Brooks loves De La Soul. Okay, Michelle, since you love De La Soul, can you tell me the name of De La Soul's very first album that they came out with in 1989? Got other people, everybody else listening or watching, you can feel free to chime in as well. Does anybody know the name of the album De La Soul released in 1989? It was their first album. Okay. Anybody? I'm gonna give y'all like maybe 45 seconds because I know you might have to look it up and then type it in. But I don't want to leave it too quiet because I don't like dead air, right? Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a few more seconds. Nobody answered it in the questions either. Okay, so the name of their very first album was called 3 Feet and Higher. Does that ring any bells for anyone? 3 Feet and Higher, right? Now, of course, when De La Soul released their music, most of that music was released on cassette tapes, and then we moved over to CDs, and then we moved over to streaming, right? However, and most of the time when you go to whatever chosen streaming platform you have, you can find whatever music you want to on there, right? Unfortunately for De La Soul, they are unable to get their first album, 3 Feet Higher and Rising, on any streaming platform. Does anybody have an idea as to why De La Soul is unable to get their first album, 3 Feet Higher and Rising, to play on any streaming platform? It's not that they don't want it, they just can't. And does anybody have an idea as to why? Well, up until now, they haven't been able to. Does anybody know? Now, okay, I'm pretty sure you guys don't know, but we all know that hip hop, a lot of the music, and hold on a second, Michelle just said something. Michelle said they don't own the rights. Absolutely, Kels Butter said right, they don't have the rights. You guys are, like 95% correct, right? De La Soul's first album was it had a lot of samples. In fact, it has so many samples that they weren't able to credit everyone, and that's what held up a lot of, and that's what's been holding up releasing 3 Feet and Higher. On top of the fact that De La Soul didn't own their masters until 2021. Okay, so De La Soul has finally gotten their masters in the last couple of years, so they're going to be able to either re-record or release 3 Feet and Higher, as well as other works that they have done, and get their money. Because in this marketplace, if you're not streaming, you don't exist. Nobody's really buying CDs or cassettes. Vinyls are kind of, a little bit, but nobody's like rushing to do that. So if De La Soul is unable to get their music to get put on streaming platforms, that's a chunk of change that they're not able to get for themselves. Hey, Leaks Dope. So congratulations to De La Soul for finally owning their masters and finally being able to put their debut album 3 Feet Higher and Rising on streaming platforms. Michelle Brooks, I'm sure you're going to be streaming that as soon as they let it on there. You don't even know what I'm talking about, Leaks Dope. As a matter of fact, do you know who De La Soul is? I don't know. That's a little before your time. All right. Okay. All right. So good luck to them. All right. Next story that we are talking about is our neighbors to the north, Canada. Is Pounds of Dollars still on here? Pounds of Dollars is one of my no, Kel's Butter. The names of my shirt, these are the names of women who were these are the names of women who were killed by police violence. It was produced by a company called Gloss Rags. Leaksto said, "Don't disrespect yourself like that." Of course, I know, Dayla. Okay. Anyway, so our great neighbors to the north is Pounds of Dollars over here. It's still online. Okay, I think he may have logged off for a little bit. Anyway, Canada's a dope place. You know, if I had to, if I wasn't born in, if I had to pick where to be born, you know, Canada is way high up on the list because, you know, they've got social health care. They take care of their people. It's a cool place, except that it's cold, right? But one thing that Canada wasn't, you know, kind of up there with and up to date was their copyright laws. Okay, hi, run it up, pink spliffs. Um, so Canada. So here in the United States and in many other countries, when you get a copyright on a book or some type of work, it is for the length of your life plus. Yes, Canada's dope. Like, it's dope. You get a copyright for the length of your life plus 70 years for that work. And within that frame of time, you own that work. No one can do anything with it without your permission, right? That's why we have a lot of things that are just coming into the public domain right now, like Winnie the Pooh, the Bambi, the first version of Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, is coming into the public domain, as well as a lot of novels that were published in 1927. Um, Lee Stove said MLK used to get hit in the head with rocks so we could listen to Dick Lasso. All right. Okay, anyway, so anyway, most countries, when they have their copyright laws, it's for the length of your life, you know, plus 70 years. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but up until recently, Canada's copyright law was the length of your life plus 50 years, right? So it was a much shorter time that you were able to benefit from copyright laws in Canada. Like I said, up until recently, they just changed their copyright laws. They've added 20 more years, so they have put themselves on par with the majority of the world's copyright laws, so that anything that you copyright in Canada will also be copyrighted for the length of your life plus 70 years. This is good news for, you know, the creators, but for people who are fans of things like, say, Lord of the Rings, it may be, you know, a little sad because if they had not changed this rule, Lord of the Rings would have been available to the public domain this year. Instead, Lord of the Rings will not be open to the public domain till 2043. So if anybody wanted to do some type of parody or whatever of Lord of the Rings, they're going to have to wait another 20 years because Canada just extended their copyright laws. Why do you think Canada extended the amount of time that you can that the copyright laws are effective in their country, right? They're like, so, you know, yes, everybody else is doing it, but why does Canada want to match their copyright laws to everyone else? Why do you think that? Hold on, Michelle said something. Oh, okay. Oh, no, that was before. Okay. What do you guys think? Why do you guys think Canada wants to match up with everybody else? Too many people making money. Absolutely. The amount of money that can be made off of Lord of the Rings, or that they're making right now. Just think about the book publishing. Hi, Freeman Antho. Okay. Think about, the book publishing, the movies, the shows. I tried to watch the one on Prime Video. I'm not really into it, but still they're getting paid. Merchandising, right? That's a lot of money. And to give, whoever's handling J.R.R. Tolkien's estate an extra 20 years, that's a bag, okay? And it's just great for other creators so that they can continue to, make money from their work long after they've retired. Okay. All right. Third story that we are covering tonight. Any of y'all fans of Tesla? I'm not saying Elon Musk. We know Elon Musk has been wiling in the news, the last few weeks. But is anybody a fan of the actual Tesla car, the electric cars, or not necessarily that you own it, but is that something that you aspire to own, something that you think you might be into? Anybody? And if you are, just give me a T. Give me a T. T. Michelle's interested in the science behind it. Okay. Kel's Butter said the car, no ma'am. Okay. Well, you guys may not be fans of Tesla, but Tesla has some really, diehard fans out there. So much so that one fan took their fandom a little bit too far. Hey, Luciano Green. So recently, I think Elon Musk had said something about their Cybertruck could operate, briefly as a boat, right? But they've had no plans, or have expressed no plans to move into, producing boats, or even planes. But a Tesla fan by the name of Jerome Edie, thought that Tesla's about to break into the plane and boat industries. Let me help my man Elon Musk out. And he went and filed trademarks for Tesla for the production of boats and the production of airplanes. Now, Jerome Edie, he has no connection to Tesla. He does not work for Tesla. He's not related to Elon Musk. He doesn't, I don't know. I don't know if he's in the tech field, but Jerome Edie just really likes Teslas. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to let them hold that. So he filed the application, and he even in the application put Tesla down as the owner of the mark. But it caused confusion because everybody thought it was Tesla filing the trademark and not this random dude called Jerome who decided to file it file it on behalf of Tesla. So Mr. Jerome Edie actually caused a little bit of a kerfuffle because finance publications were like, what's going on? We see trademarks being filed for Tesla in the areas of boats and airplanes. So they thought something was happening. And little did they know it was just, Joe Schmo trying to support, I don't know, his hero. I don't know. Anyway, so Tesla and Jerome are gonna have to figure this out. I don't think Tesla had any plans to, at least in the near future, to delve into boats or airplanes. But I don't know. Maybe they're thinking about it now that Jerome has, put the bug in their ear, or whatever, the battery in their back. All right. But would you buy a boat or a plane made by Tesla if you could? If it was accessible to you, would you purchase a Tesla car, plane, boat? Let me know. Okay. Moving on to our Kelswetter said, so he called himself getting a head start. It's not a head start for him because he has no connection to Tesla, right? When you are filing a trademark, you have to be filing it because you want to make money from it, right? Because you have a product. Hey, Agia. But Jerome, he's not filing it for a product. He filed an intent to use application, meaning that Tesla was gonna come out with the boats and the airplanes. But Tesla's like, we never even said that. We have no plans on doing this. Jerome just had the cart before the horse and thought he was doing his man a solid. This man that he don't know from, a hole in the wall. Kelsbutter said, right, so what does he call himself doing? So it is dumb, Kelsbutter. It's very dumb because he filed 2 applications. He's going to have to, and he paid that money, and nobody's going to pay it back to him. Hi, YB Swags. Okay? So just word to the wise, don't be filing no trademark applications on behalf of anybody, okay? If you're going to file a trademark, file it for yourselves. All right? Before we move on to our next story, I want to remind you guys, you are watching or listening to NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach legal and business concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. If you are in the startup phase of your business and you're looking for some legal guidance from a licensed attorney with a passion for helping entrepreneurs, hit me up. I'm waiting for your call. Go to linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm and book yourself a free 15-minute consultation today. Okay? All right. Moving on to our next story of the evening. Has anybody here played Minecraft? Or know what Minecraft is. If you have played Minecraft, know what Minecraft is, please give me an M in the comments, okay? Give me an M in the comments. I am not a gamer, so my knowledge of Minecraft is very limited. I think it's kind of like Fortnite, where you're building stuff, you're building cities, things like that. Kelsbutter said M. Okay, you know what Minecraft is. You've seen kids in your family play, Michelle. Okay, all right. But yeah, so it's like something where you building stuff, right? Mind control on the next level. I know what it is. Never played. Okay, hey Rubina Patterson. All right. Anyway, so Minecraft, if you didn't know, at the end of the game, when you're about to win, there is a poem at the end that is recited. It's a 9-minute poem, and you can't skip it. So when you get to the end of the game, you literally have to sit here like this for 9 minutes, listening to this poem being read. Okay? Now, what you may not have known is that the poem was written by a poet named Julian Guff, okay? He wrote the poem. Minecraft wanted the poem, and they I guess were trying to negotiate with him as to how much to pay him for the poem. He was going back and forth, and then I guess they offered him like £20,000. And he was like, I don't think that's enough. And they were like, well, you getting £20,000, you get nothing. So they sent him £20,000, and they, used the poem, and they sent him a contract, but he never signed the contract with Minecraft. Okay. They sent him the contract on 3 different occasions, and he never signed it. Okay. Also, he said that, when he wrote the poem, he was tripping on psychedelics, and he had at the beginning, it was like something that was revealed to him, and it was just all this esoteric stuff. And basically, he said he had another shroom trip, and he realized that, he should be getting his fair share of the poem. Minecraft didn't want to give it to him. He did get the money. So he put the poem out in the public domain, meaning that he took the poem and he published it, in an article not related to Minecraft. Okay. But now he's suing Minecraft because he's saying that they are hindering his career because he was trying to get it printed in multiple publications, and some publications won't deal with him. Right. Um, Now, Kel's Butter said, so he didn't copyright it, or did he? Now, there's no dispute as to the fact that he wrote it. He absolutely wrote it. Minecraft paid him money trying to buy the poem and buy the rights to it. They paid him the money and sent him a contract, but he never signed it. So he's saying that he doesn't have an agreement with Minecraft, right? And he's trying to get more money out of them because they only paid him $20,000. And he's like, y'all are making millions of dollars on this game. I deserve more. So he put the poem out into the public domain. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that because Julian Guff, because he didn't sign the agreement, that he doesn't have to adhere to any of Minecraft's policies, even though they gave him $20,000? He said, yeah, they gave me the money, but I didn't sign the paper. If you've been listening to me over the last couple of years, you know that there are three ways to accept a contract. There is express acceptance. There is implied acceptance, and there is conditional acceptance, right? Express acceptance is when somebody says, yes, I will do this for that, right? Implied acceptance is when someone offers you something, you take it and do the thing, right? You don't say anything, but you take the money and you do what they ask you to do. And conditional acceptance is like, yeah, I'll do it, but blah, blah, blah. So if those are the three types of acceptances that we have, what type of acceptance do you think Julian did, right? Michelle Brooks said he took the money. It's a deal, LOL. Kels Butter said, well, he took the money they gave him. He took the money. Give them their money back or they will continue to make it hard for him. Okay, so you guys seem to be on the side of Minecraft here. You're like, look, whether or not you signed this deal, Julian, you took the money, right? So it seems to be a case of business dealings versus emotions and drugs. But again, this is why, if you don't understand a contract, or if you think a contract is unfair, you want to consult someone who has more expertise, maybe an attorney like myself, who can help you either, negotiate a better deal or at least understand what you're signing. Julian was just, kind of letting the vibes lead him on, and, it's not working out so good for him. Kels Butter said, a deal is a deal. There was an agreement nonetheless. I agree with you guys. If I say, hey, I want that jacket, I'll give you $200 for it, and you don't say anything to me, but you take the $200 and I take the jacket, you can't then say, hey, that jacket is mine. Give me the jacket. Give me some more money for the jacket. You didn't pay enough, right? Because that's basically what he's saying. He's saying, y'all didn't pay me enough. Give me some more money for the jacket. You took the $200. What happened? Why didn't you say anything back then? So while I usually root for the little guy, I think in this case, Julian should have had his, ducks in a row. And unfortunately, you're going to have to pay the consequence. Okay? Michelle Brooks said he was caught off guard. Kelswater said verbal, tangible, physical handshake. He's still hot. Okay, so good luck to Mr. Guff. Michelle Brooks said he didn't know the gold he wrote. Yeah, he didn't. I'm saying, I don't know how much Minecraft makes, but I know they make a lot of money. So, this is why you need, while I understand artists don't necessarily want to be all caught up in the business side of their art, at least have somebody who is, because you don't want to be, cheated out of the value of your work. Okay. All right. Next story we are talking about. Is anybody here interested in a green technology or climate change technology, or working in those fields? Or anybody here interested? You're right, Kels Butter. He should have sought out wise counsel. Anybody here interested in green technology or climate change technology? When we're talking about green technology, we mean like wind energy, solar energy, things to, I guess, help Mother Earth out, because we're burning through her resources at an incredible rate. Um, Michelle Brooks said goes against nature on the fence. Michelle Brooks, what are you saying it goes against nature? What are you saying goes against nature? Could please elaborate on that. I would love to know what you're saying. But yeah, if anyone here, anyone is in the green technology field or the climate change field, and they invent and they have a product that they want to trademark, let them know that they could be eligible for a reduced trademark application fee. Okay, so certain types of industries having to do with green technology and climate change have been added to the USPTO manual, and if you want to trademark in those fields, you could qualify for a reduced trademark application fee. Michelle Brooks said by manipulating weather by using chemicals and non-natural things. Oh, is that what climate change is? Okay. Thank you for informing me, Michelle Brooks. Well, okay, whether you're into green tech or climate change technology, just know that if you're going to be applying for any trademarks in those fields, you're eligible for a cheaper rate. Right now the going rate for a standard application for the US for a US trademark is, I believe, $3.95. And if you do the reduced rate, I want to say it's like $2.75. Well, it's a significant amount cheaper than the standard one. So anybody who is in the green technology or climate change fields, let them know that they may be eligible for reduced trademark application fees. Okay. All right. So next story. A few days ago was the anniversary of a very shameful event in U.S. history. Does anybody know what anniversary just passed a couple days ago? One of the most shameful events in U.S. governmental history. Huh? Kelsbutter said, well, I hugged a tree, so I'm all for preserving what's left of the climate. Anybody know the shameful event that whose anniversary was just passed a few days ago? Toby, what's wrong, babe? It has to do with the date. Today's January 9th. Yes. Thank you guys. The attack on the White House. Absolutely. And I guess they're still, sorting out things from that day. People are still going through trials. They're still, going through paperwork, whatever. But as they're going through these January 6th trials, a lot of interesting news has been coming out. Did you guys know that the Cheeto, I refuse to say his name because every time I say his name on the show, my show cut out. The Grand Cheeto, he tried to trademark the term rigged election during the time of the riots. He was going on saying that, the election was fixed and he didn't lose and blah, blah, blah. And he tried to trademark the phrase rigged election. I just thought that was an interesting tidbit to know. This man has no shame. This man has no scruples. Like, gross. If he's really running in 2024, I implore y'all, Please don't vote. Please don't allow this man to go back into that house. Um, Kels Butter said, yes, I heard that already in my news feed. Okay. Well, yeah. So he tried to trademark rigged election. I'm sure it was probably for some merchandise or whatever. But yeah, he was pretty proud of it. So good for him. Jesus Christ. All right. Next story before we take a little break. Do we have any of my ladies here watching? Any ladies here into the eye makeup? Are y'all into, like, the eyeshadow palettes? I used to be really into them. But these days I just be lazy. I don't even be feeling like putting on no makeup. Where am I going anyway? But are any of you ladies or gentlemen, not just ladies, Kelsbutter said, who used the same shrooms Jerome was on. Any of my ladies or gentlemen or those in between, are you into eye makeup? If you are, just give me an eye emoji. My sister, she's a part-time makeup artist, and she has all sorts of like palettes and things like that with all sorts of fun colors. And if you are even, if you look through any store that has a makeup aisle, you know that there are tons of brands, right? Marc Jacobs is a very well-known brand. And there is also another brand called Amarte. And Amarte is suing Marc Jacobs, okay? Here's why. Amarte sells their eye makeup under the name Iconic. EYECONIC, right? That is what they sell all of their eye makeup products under the name of. It's not called Amarte, it's called Iconic, okay? Now, Marc Jacobs recently came out with their own eyeshadow palette that they called the Iconic, EYE-CONIC, Iconic Eye Palette, okay? And Amarte is now suing Marc Jacobs for trademark infringement, right? Now, why do you guys think that Amarte might have a hard time making this trademark infringement lawsuit stick? Anybody have an idea? Remember that when you have a trademark, your trademark identifies the source of your goods. It says who makes your goods, right? So when I have the Nike sign, I know that that is the Nike company, right? When I have the swoosh, I know it's Nike. If I go to um uh I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the examples. So you guys are saying name is way too close to each other, so they didn't trademark Iconic. No, Amarte definitely trademarked Iconic. They have a registered trademark. Now, the case hasn't gone to trial yet, okay? They have just filed the lawsuit. So nobody has won, no one has lost. Michelle Brooks said it's all the same, like a DBA. No, not exactly. So the article that I was reading, they said that, Marc Jacobs is Freak Girls. Who the heck is this in my show? You getting blocked, sir? How do I block people? Somebody's putting like porn links on my thing. How do I block somebody? Any of y'all people know technology? Block user on YouTube. Okay. I blocked them. Never mind. Okay. So Amarte definitely has a trademark for Iconic for all of their eye products, right? But the article I was reading, what they were saying was that Marc Jacobs is not using Iconic to identify the who makes the eye palette. They're using it as a style name. If they're going to sell it, they're going to sell it under the Marc Jacobs name and not the iconic name, right? It's like when you have MAC, and MAC has all the lipsticks with those special names like Ruby Woo and whatever. Marc Jacobs is doing the same thing with the palette, iconic, or at least that's what the author of the article suggested. Okay, so do you think that Amarte and Marc Jacobs, do you think that there is a possibility of confusion between the two of them, given that, right? If you find an Amarte product, it's not going to say Amarte, it's going to say iconic. But if you see a Marc Jacobs product, it's always going to say Marc Jacobs. Michelle Brooks says, you can't use someone else's trademark name. You can't use it to identify your goods, but you can use it in other ways, right? So, okay. So let's take Dove soap and Dove chocolate. Same name, two different companies. Why? Because they have two different products, right? Now, Marc Jacobs and Amarte are a little different. Marc Jacobs is using iconic as a style name for, you know how people come out with their collections for makeup? That's what Marc Jacobs is doing. Amarte is saying iconic is the name for all our eye makeup. Okay? So we don't know. It's the same product type. It's the same product type, but what they're going to argue over is what is the consumer, the average consumer, who are they going to think the source of the goods are? So when somebody looks at the Marc Jacobs palette, are they going to think it's a Marc Jacobs palette or an iconic palette? That's probably going to be one of the biggest arguments. Cool Sophisticate said, I think Marc Jacobs gets a pass. That's like using a fragrance or a color. Yeah, so like if they use the lilac eye palette, or the I don't know. Michelle Brooks said Marc Jacobs is more popular. It is, but again, that's the great part of having your trademark, because even if you're smaller than the company that might be violating your trademark, having that legal trademark gives you standing to go into court. All right? Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens between Marc Jacobs and Amarte. Okay. Hi, Tynika and Sunkissed Crowns. How y'all doing? All right. So, before we move on to our final three stories, for those who may have just come in, just a reminder, you are watching NPL Legal Dish. This is my Monday broadcast where I teach business and legal concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. I am a seasoned attorney with a passion for helping entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. If you are in the startup phase of your business, or even if you've been in business for a while, but you need to level up, on the paperwork side, come hit your girl up. I'm here for you. Go to linktr.ee/nplconsultingfirm and book yourself a free 15-minute consultation today. Hi, Sunkissed Grounds. I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you? All right. Moving on to our final three stories. So, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I live in the DMV area, meaning DC, Maryland, Virginia, specifically Maryland. But, I'm from Boston, so I rep the Patriots all day, every day when it comes to football. But I live in an area where there are a lot of Washington Commanders fans, okay? Michelle, you're in Maryland? Okay. Now, Washington Commanders, they used to have... Oh, you're welcome. Washington Commanders used to have a name that was very racist. Michelle Brooks said Ravens all day. They used to have a name that was very offensive to Native Americans, so they changed the name for a while. They were called the Washington Football Team, and then they finally settled on the name Washington Commanders, okay? Now, along with the new name Washington Commanders, the Washington Commanders have a new mascot. Does anybody know the name of the Commanders' new mascot? Any football aficionados out there? Does anybody know the name of the Commanders' new mascot? Do 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 do. Ah, 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 ah. Okay, so if you don't know the Commander's new mascot, his name is Mr. Tutty, and he is a hog. I don't know why they chose a hog, but they did. Okay. Um, and people have had their opinions about Mr. Tutty, some good, some bad. But some specific people are upset that the Commanders have a hog as their new mascot. Okay. Who is upset? The members of a company called O-Line Entertainment. They are former offensive linemen for the Washington Commanders, specifically Joe Jacoby, Mark May, John Rigging, Fred Dean, and Doc Walker. All these guys refer to themselves as the Hogs, or the original Hogs of the Washington Commanders when they played there. And they even have a company that they started called O-Line Entertainment. They have a trademark for Hogs and a trademark for original Hogs, right? So when they found out that that the Commanders were thinking about having a hog for their mascot, the O-line guys, the offensive linemen, they got a little, upset. They were like, well, we have the trademark for hogs and original hogs. Washington Commanders, if y'all come out with this hog, it's going to be a problem, right? So the Washington Commanders came out with Mr. Tutty, and O-Line Entertainment feels some kind of way. Now, how many of you guys think that these gentlemen, the offensive linemen, do they have a case here against the Washington Commanders because their new mascot is a hog, and O-Line Entertainment has a trademark for the words hogs and original hogs? So O-Line Entertainment, they have a trademark for hogs, Hogs, and original hogs, the words. The Commander's new mascot is a hog named Mr. Tutty. Do you think that there is a possibility of confusion? And O-Line Entertainment, it's, offensive line entertainment. They deal with, sports and all sorts of things like that. Do you think that there is a possibility of confusion between Mr. Tutty, the Commander's new mascot, and the offensive lineman's Hogs trademark? What do you think? For me, I don't see the problem. While they may have a trademark for the words hogs and original hogs, that doesn't mean that nobody else can have a hog. The mascot is called Mr. Tutty. They actually don't even I don't know if Tutty has anything to do with hogs, but Mr. Tutty doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't have anything to do with hogs in any way. So I personally don't see the problem. But, another attorney might. But good luck to O-Line Entertainment, and good luck to the Commanders fans. I think the Commanders are out now. Michelle Brooks said no case, but who wants to be associated with Hugs? No, not Hugs, Michelle. Hogs, Hogs, or is that a joke? I don't know, girl. See, yeah. Sometimes jokes fly over my head. But yeah, good luck to them. We'll see what happens. Okay, we got a few more minutes. Okay. We got a few more minutes. I want to finish these last two stories real quick, okay? So I know a lot of you guys are very creative. I see a lot of you guys in these Facebook groups. You're making your crafts, you're making your Gucci, your Louis, your Disney. Let me tell y'all something. These companies do not play about their trademarks. Disney is out here on the rampage. Sunkissed Crown said, my husband said hog is a term offensive is a term offensive lineman for years. Oh, it's a term. It's a term used for offensive linemen. Okay, okay, all right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Um, okay, so back to Disney, right? And you creative people, a lot of you guys, you are able. Okay, thank you for clarifying that, Sunkiss Crowns, because I did not know where Hogs was coming from. Anyway, so Disney does not like people selling knockoffs. Disney will sue you. They don't care how small you are. They will be like, "Ma'am, run us our check," right? I know that you guys, especially you creatives, you've heard of your friends getting their Etsy stores shut down, getting, whatever online platform they have shut down because, their products were found to be infringing on someone's trademark, okay? Disney does not play. And if you try and escape Disney, they're going to come at you even harder. There are two individuals. They go by the name Chris and Hannah. I can't even read the last name. I can't read my writing sometimes, guys. Anyway, hold on. Michelle Brooks said you can't sell licensed images without purchasing a license to resell. Absolutely, Michelle Brooks. Michelle knows her stuff. Okay, girl. I see you. Okay. All right. So Chris and Hannah, they have a store in Kissimmee, Florida. All right. What else is in Kissimmee? Well, not Kissimmee. What else is in Florida? Disney World, right? So you have a lot of stores that are related to Disney within, a certain radius. Chris and Hannah, they sell knockoff Disney items. Not only that, they use images from Disney's website to sell their items, and they have two private Facebook groups where they sell these knockoff Disney items, right? Disney has known about them for years. In fact, they sent them multiple cease and desist what do you call it, letters, and instead of stopping, they changed the name of their business, or they would change the name of their Facebook group. But Disney has finally caught up with these two individuals for selling knockoff Disney items. Now, you might think that this is petty, that these are just two people, but again, Disney does not play about its intellectual property. They don't care how big you are. They don't care how small you are. They will get you shut down if you are making knockoff Disney items. Now, if you're just making them for yourself and your family and you're not selling them, that's fine. Go crazy. But if you are making knockoff items to resell to other people, that is a crime and you can be prosecuted for it, okay? So for my Etsy sellers, for my, Redbubble, whatever platform you're on, don't get your store shut down. Make sure your items are unique, okay? All right. And the last one, real quick. Anybody a Jim Jones fan? Jim Jones with this man has had fuzzy braids for the last 15 years. I don't understand it. Jim Jones ballin', Jim Jones vampire life. If you know Jim Jones, give me a JJ in the comments. You know his real name is Joseph Guillermo Jones. But yeah, if you know who Jim Jones is, give me a basketball or give me a JJ. Ballin'. You don't know who Jim Jones is, Michelle? You gotta be kidding me. Lucille Verde knows who Jim Jones is. Okay. Do you guys remember Jim Jones being out in a snowstorm in 2019? Thank you, Sunkissed Crowns. Giving a weather report. I don't know if we have people who maybe were in New York at the time. Kuzma said, I knew what you said, but for real, he looked like he got the braids braided and then just took a brush and went like this for 20 minutes. How you been looking like this since loving hip hop in like early 2000s, sir? Anyway. But around 2019, there was a huge storm in New York specifically. I think it was here too. And Jim Jones was outside giving, his version of a weather report. And apparently during the weather report, he would always start it off by he will always start it off by tapping his foot, just tap 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 tap, right? And apparently that became his thing. And the other day, Jim Jones was on a show saying that he trademarked the foot tap because he saw somebody do it in a commercial, and he wants his money. But we've talked about this a lot. You can't really. There are things that you can trademark. You can trademark smells. You can trademark sounds, logos, of course. Patterns, things like that. But trademarking a movement is really hard. You're stuck. You're stuck? Okay. Are you still stuck? Let me know. I'll come back. Kel's Butter, if you're still stuck, let me know and I'll come back. Hold on. Hold on, guys. I think we have a technical difficulty on Okay, you fine? Okay. All right. So what was I saying? Yeah, so Jim Jones said that he trademarked the foot tap, but we've talked about this. You can't trademark us or copyright a simple movement. In the early days of the show, we talked about how Alfonso Ribeiro and the guy who did Millie Rock, they were trying to sue Fortnite because Fortnite was using their dances in the video and they were turned down. So I'm really interested, and I was trying to find the trademark application. I was doing research. I couldn't find it. I was looking up Joseph Guillermo Jones, looking up the foot tap. I'm really interested to see whether Jim Jones is going to get this approved or not. Because does anybody here associate Jim Jones with a foot tap? If you associate Jim Jones with a foot tap, give me a foot emoji or a shoe emoji. Actually, make it a Tim. Since we know he's from New York. If you if you associate Jim Jones with a foot tap, give me a Tim's emoji, okay? But it's like trademarking a specific movement, like just a one movement, is really difficult. You usually have to copyright choreography. School Sophisticate said, nah, he can claim image and likeness for them braids, though. You will not leave this man's braids alone. Right. Like, I feel like that is a more signature look to Jim Jones than the foot tap. I don't know. Personally, I don't know Jim Jones for the foot tap. I never remember him being out in 2019. And also I'm really interested to see how he is, if he gets this, how it's being registered as what and in what industry. Because you can't just trademark something like that. When you are going to trademark something, you have to trademark it within your industry, and it has to be to make money. So Apple, they have the Apple trademarked in their industry of technology, and it's to sell their technology items, right? Michelle Brooks said, if Stevie Wonder didn't do it, then how in the world does he think he's special? What's Stevie Wonder try and do? He tried to do that rock thing? Did he? Let me know. But yeah, so I'm really interested. I can't find the actual application. I've been looking online. If any of you find it, please DM it to me, because I'd love to read it and see how they're maneuvering this application, because it just doesn't sound plausible. Okay? But good luck to Jim Jones and his fuzzy braids. All right, so that was the first show of 2023, guys. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thank you to the new faces who popped in, the new names and everything. I will be here next week with more stories. If you find anything that you want me to talk about, guys, please send it to my DMs. You know I love it when you DM me. Make sure that you are booking your free consultations at linktr.ee/NPL Consulting Firm. Also, make sure that you are downloading the free Biz Launch cheat sheet at linktree/NPL Consulting Firm. This month, we're going to be focusing on business entities. All right, we're back at the beginning. So those of you thinking about starting a business this year, you're going to want to set up a business entity, meaning a structure to house your business under so you can separate your personal finances from the business ones, right? So we're going to be starting on that this month. Keep an eye out on my social media for tips and tricks. And I'll be posting the link for my business entities ebook this week, all right? So have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Oh, thank you, Michelle Brooks. And I will see you guys next week, okay? Bye. All right, how do I do this? Oh,